Okay, I think we are rolling. I am gonna do a quick sound check, everybody. I'm Fletch. If you haven't been on before, we are gonna get started here. Make sure everything is running smoothly. I wind up doing a screen share to share the broadcast screen that we have going, so we can record the actual questions. So things look like it's good so far. All right, cool. Hey, Conky. What's up, buddy? Bear with me. Do a quick sound check, everybody. I'm Fletch. All right, should be good. All right, cool, guys. Let me bounce over here and do a screen share on this, I think. All right, cool. Should be good now. I'm going to monitor. I had a couple people asking questions about getting on today. Just wanted to make sure they didn't have any follow-ups that I need to help direct them through. Okay. Okay. All right, guys, let me, if you've got some questions, go ahead and get those in the chat box. I think I got the last question answered about logging in. Should be pretty good now. So then we can actually get to the questions. I know there were a lot of questions I saw kind of popping up over the last week on vSilo plugin and siloing out websites and things like that. So we can get into that if some of the folks who were having questions with that would like to. I actually went through and cleaned up the theme on Mile High Plumbing a little bit just to get the menu structures proper for an actual siloed website, because that's really what define whether or not it is a siloed website or not, is really the internal linking of the pages to one another. So, okie doke. All right. Oh yeah, Matt's on. Cool. Good to hear. Neil's good. All right. All right. No, whoop. What's going on here? There we go. All right. Noel, hi. When you built the Mile High Plumbing site, did you use vSilo? If you did you use the automatic video loading setting, or did you insert the videos manually? Yes, I did use it with the vSilo plugin, Noel. I set that whole setup with that and just let it go and scrape the videos itself. So that site, I think I've got it on one of these pages here. Kind of got a runny nose this morning, so hopefully it doesn't come across too gross. So on the website itself, I don't know why I clicked on the dashboard. If you go to any of these pages, this is just a video that the vSilo plugin went out and did a search for code violation repair in Lakewood and found this video, and then went ahead and grabbed the description for it. And also, you know, a link winds up in here, but it's not an actual link, you see. It's just essentially a citation of a link. And so that's how that works for those who are considering using that or just getting started using the vSilo plugin. Okay, Matt, have you been going? Oh, I have been going through your paper lead videos. Fletch, awesome, by the way. Just trying to get my brain wrapped around it all. So we'll have a few questions. Very cool. What resources do you plan to use to determine keywords for a paper lead project? Keyword Planner, Google Instant. Yeah, the keyword planner really is kind of the core of any kind of research that I do for keywords on a project. I also use a service that Network Empire has. It's called TLKT. It stands for the last keyword tool. It pulls data from Google, from the keyword planner tool, and then also does kind of some interesting searches on those pages that the keywords exist to find related terms. And so you hear probably terms like LSI and synonyms and things, of course, for keywords. It will pull all those, but it will also pull terms that are just related. So if you were, for instance, doing a keyword search with like window replacement or something like that, a related term might be, trying to think of something right now, like siding removal or something like that, because you'd have to remove the siding to get the existing windows out potentially. And so it would tell you that, well, a lot of the pages that talk about window replacement also mention siding removal, or mention drywall repair, or mention energy efficiency, or window tinting, which are not terms that are necessarily the same as window replacement, but will give you an idea of some of the other terms you may be able to get at the same market with, and also really gives you some more insight into how you want to build your website out, some of the content on your pages and things like that. So I use that quite a bit. Like I said, it's not our tool, I say, OMG's, but the folks at Network Empire work really closely with OMG, and that's something I get quite a bit of use out of, for sure. Okay, Noel, on a city guide, what would you charge an individual business on a month or annual basis? Probably a pretty wide range, Noel. It would depend on several things. Really what you need to look at is a couple things. One of them, what it actually takes you to do it. You certainly want to make sure that your prices cover what you're doing, and also give you, a considerable amount of profit, because that's how you run a business. You just need to make money. Once you kind of know that, that's your base level. That means you have to charge above, X number of dollars per month to cover your expenses, to give you, reasonable profit that you're shooting for, whatever it might be. And then what I usually try to do is to look at the business and see what each of their new customers would be worth, what the average customer value would be, how long they retain them, all that kind of thing. And then I'll kind of cross-reference that with the search volume and kind of go from there. So for instance, maybe a plastic surgeon, it would take me more resources to get the page ranked. Each of their new customers is going to be worth considerably more than maybe a windshield replacement customer would. So in a situation like that, I very well might charge, a plastic surgeon $1,500 a month, to get a page or two on my website. Whereas someone doing, mobile windshield repair or paintless dent repair, or, flower, arrangements or something like that would probably get the same type of page or same type of exposure for much less. So I kind of talk about that some in my in that paper lead series, Noel, on pricing. There's really three things that I do on most of my projects now to figure out, what the price is going to be. One, I mentioned two of them. One's going to be what your actual costs are, and making sure you cover those and you have your, profit margin worked in. Two is going to be what the business value to your customer is going to be, so how much new business are you going to bring them in every month for doing that? And then really the third is what a competitor would charge them. It's something that we kind of use in a way when we look at the cost per click, the CPC costs for a keyword, and kind of go that direction, to get the same amount of traffic. If they were going to pay Google AdWords to get that stuff, what would they have to pay Google to get that same amount of traffic to their webpage? So I look at all three of those and kind of figure out a spot, and kind of work with the customer as to what they actually understand, and then kind of go from there to explain to them prices and things like that. I tend not to get into it too deeply. Usually just kind of, this is the price. But All right, Matt, in the paper lead videos, you have 3 sites. All of them are siloed or just the authority site, Mile High? Well, Mile High Plumbing is siloed. I use the vSilo plugin to build most of my sites now. It's I keep hitting that instead of the homepage. So I use the Silo plugin to build most of my sites, even if they're small sites. It's a time saver. It gets your pages up really quickly. Put some content on there because it's YouTube videos. They tend to get indexed a little more quickly, and then I can swap that content out, moving forward. So for some of the smaller sites, it's just not. It doesn't make sense to have a silo structure because you may only have like 1 layer deep on a site. Some of these smaller like sniper sites. You don't really have a lot of supporting pages underneath what's called the silo landing page. So like Mile High Plumbing here, this is the home page, okay? Don't worry about this. This is just on every page. This is just a comment box from WordPress. The first layer down, there's 5 pages here. There's Denver, Plummer, Arvada, Lakewood, Aurora, and Westminster. Those are the kind of the 5 cities within the Denver metro area. So this page is what's called a silo landing page. So at the top of the silo. All of these pages below it are what's called supporting pages, silo supporting pages. So these all link up only to this Denver, the Denver Plumbing homepage or the Denver Plumber silo landing page. This is the page we're on. And so because of this, we only have links to and from Denver related pages. So that's why it's siloed. You cannot get from one of these inner pages on this silo directly to any of the other cities. Westminster, you can't see up here anymore. Arvada, you cannot see anywhere. There's not a link to any of those other cities. You actually have to go back to the home page, which is here, and then go to the Arvada silo landing page, and then all the supporting pages. So if you don't have a lot of these supporting pages, it doesn't. Even using the plugin, which is fine to use, you don't really have a silo per se because you don't have all these supporting pages. So it just depends on how big the site is, how much support you can get put together for those silos. Oops, where did I? There we go. All right, question from Sue. Do you know if hosting recommendations have changed with the new update? I saw a post with Sue Bell saying that a couple sites got hit, had a common variable of the same host. Yeah, there was a recent update, I believe, that is on the. Let me find the membership area. Thought I had it open. Maybe I don't. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So again, on our homepage here, we've got the news feed that David writes. I remember seeing something recently about recommended. Yeah, right here. So on the 30th, here is a recommended server or hosting providers for you, Sue. So this is what Greg's currently using, and Sue and Russell and Jimmy and Greg all share information pretty freely amongst themselves on a lot of this stuff. So yeah, Host9, Traffic Planet, Liquid Web, ASEO Hosting, BizBuilder, IndiaNets, Turnkey Internet, SEO Web Hosting, and SEOhosting.com are all things that are currently being used by Greg. So those would all be things I think would put you in a good place. All right, Stephanie, hey Fletch, I wonder, okay, in your earlier videos, you said you had built like 10 sites right away. I'm wondering if they all were targeting the same niche or different ones. All targeting the same niche, Stephanie. Some of them actually targeted the same keywords. I built several sites that my kind of take, this was before the domination strategies came out and were part of OMG. I still wanted to have multiple first page listings. And so in order to do that, what I did was just build multiple websites. And so for quite a while, I had, 2 or 3 different websites that were each targeting the same keywords that I make sure I got all the traffic I could for. And so they were very much in the same niche, many times also with overlapping keywords for my targeting. It also meant that each of those sites had their own phone number. They looked totally different, but they all rang the same customer. So, I only had to get one customer, and then each of those websites essentially fed their phone calls. So that's how that worked. All right, Shane's on. Hey, Fletch, what's the name of the plumbing site you were showing? Oh, it's milehighplumbing.net. Yeah. I think it'll block the link if I drop it in here, but I can put some spaces. Yeah, you can take those spaces out when you get it. That's the site that I'm on. Yeah, and it's just a demo site. It's not anything that there's a lot of things that have not been done fully to it. It's really just a demo site for Silo. I may wind up doing some more with, but for the time being, don't take anything more away from that demo site. Then that's how the Silo plugin and Silo menus need to be arranged for it to work properly. All right, Matt, the affordable plumbing site, does it target all the same keywords as Mile High? What determines whether you create a page for that keyword on the second site or not? Let's just reiterate my question. So would you silo out an affordable plumbing site? It depends on how big the site is, Matt. So if it was if I were using the same keywords, absolutely. This site really has, I think, 36 or 38 keywords. And then, of course, the local city. So there's 5 cities that winds up. I think the site's a little over 200 pages. So I may be remembering how many keywords there were differently. If I were only going to be targeting maybe 3 to 5 keywords, I would probably not silo the site. So in that paper lead series, I talk about even building sites out for demographics, like here's an affordable plumbing option for you. Most of the keywords I have on here would be things that would very much be supported, in the affordable market. If I were going to kind of contrast that with stuff that was in the premium market, I would probably knock out a lot of the keywords. It wouldn't make sense. So, a situation like that, it kind of boils down to how many keywords you want to target, whether I would silo it or not. And, with the affordable plumbing situation or scenario, it would make sense to silo that out, because there are going to be just a lot of people. Typically, people for things that are affordable or cheap tend to search more, and so they might use longer tail keywords or all that kind of thing in their search boxes on Google. All right, cool. All right, and then I know we're kind of getting into the silo stuff, it's good. I actually, Mike and I were talking a couple weeks ago about really kind of trying to, I won't say bring it back. It's it's not ever gone anywhere, but to really put some more focus on it, because it is such an easy way to build a site and get it set up. So one of the cool things, so this is the plugin. When you install the plugin, you get this set of settings or menus on the left side. What you can do with this section right here, the short code section, is incredibly powerful. Mike covered it in one of his videos. I don't even have any idea where it was. It was on with he was on with Sue, and they were kind of covering how to use these short codes. What these short codes can do is you essentially drop whatever code in here you would want that would potentially be like a banner ad or a some kind of an ad link if you're promoting an Amazon product, or if you're promoting a ClickBank product or whatever you wanted to do there. You essentially could put that code here, and then you would just grab, well, I can't do it here, but what you would essentially do is you can block this off and add like any short code. Well, let me. here, it would be a variable. So if you were to define a variable there, what this would do then is every page you built, it would go out and get the essentially the embed code, the video title, and the video description. And then you'd also get a banner ad on each of those pages. So you wouldn't have to go through and actually add that to each page you wanted to add on. You don't have to use a widget area either. So if you actually want it right in the body of your pages, you can do that with that little setting there, which is pretty slick. All right, OMG Juggernaut, what would you put a blog on a siloed site to add content to stay with the page categories or the silo? Yes, absolutely. So the blog, the posts that you're going to create are going to fall under categories. That's one of the pieces of categorization, I guess, for what did I hit? Plugins? Where's my posts? So essentially that third level down, these are all being created by Video Kraken. So that's another plugin that the Network Empire folks have. Plumbing repair is my search term for this, and it runs every 4 hours. So I don't know when I installed this, but it has created, looks like 400, a little over 400 posts. And the categories that this goes into, let's have a look at it. Yeah, so the post category is just plumbing repair. So one of the categories on my website is going to be plumbing repair. That doesn't match up exactly with any of the silo landing pages. So to specifically answer your question, my post categories are different than the silo landing pages. One of the reasons I did that, I tried it once where they were the same, and it actually was overriding kind of some of my content on those silo landing pages somehow or another. So I kind of ditched that idea, and essentially now for the posts, they just have their own categories. So. All right, Shane Fletch, last week I mentioned that metal artist, who's likely going to become one of my clients this week. If you were just starting and had no PBN, city sites, etc., how would you approach marketing his products? I meet him tomorrow and I'm not sure what I can offer him. What would you suggest? Honestly, there's so many things you could do. With a client like that, you really look at their product and how it's going to be best displayed or shown off. Social media really would potentially have a ton to offer there. You might even be able to do just like start out with video marketing, Shane. It's you can make 6 figures a year just doing video SEO, easy. So you might be able to put good photographs or even new video together for his pieces, and then just turn those into YouTube videos and get them ranked for metal art. It's going to be pretty easy to rank a video for that, a bigger competitive keyword like that. And it might also be a perfect platform to really display his stuff, and then just kind of start with that type of thing. Get some videos done, maybe put a Tumblr blog together for him. Kind of embed the two and go that way. That'll really get you up and going pretty quickly. Don't have to worry about PBNs as much until you really, get some income coming in and things like that. I'm trying to think if we could do anything with Cotton's new information about that 7-pack. You might be able to find some keywords that trigger the 7-pack in the city he lives in, and see if you can't get some local results there. I certainly know he's an artist, probably doesn't do, welding or anything like that, but there might be some things similar to that would be triggered by the 7-pack. I'm not sure. Just some, thoughts. on that. All right, Priscilla, where do you get keywords to target in your site from the keyword planner? Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys this. It is, this is the last keyword tool that I was talking about, because I've talked about a little bit. We'll just start here, AC repair in Phoenix. It's no surprise I'm kind of in that market. So the seed keyword, you know, winds up coming out in the dark blue here, AC repair in Phoenix. What it does is it tells you the cost per click, how many clicks per day you would get if you were in the #1 position. This is an estimate. I think it's about 0.4 of the total number of searches per day or something like that. Then the number of search, oh, I guess I could have just looked. Number of searches. This is some competition metrics. These are way more technical terms over here. And then, yeah, we're just not going to pay attention to these last 4 just because what we're looking at is the actual keywords it pulls. So what you do is you essentially put in the main keyword or the main keyword you're thinking of for a particular market or niche or whatever it would be. And it goes out and uses a combination of keyword planner as well as its own searches to look on those pages. So what you wind up with is, you know, all these that are very related to AC, you know, Phoenix air conditioning repair in Phoenix, all these things that the keyword planner tool would come up with anyway. But like if we go scrolling down here, like HVAC repair service, that doesn't have any, you know, combination to AC. AC and HVAC are, you know, very different terms. Commercial air conditioning repair continues to dig down. You know, heating and cool, you know, air conditioner Phoenix, heating installation Phoenix. You know, it just gives you a lot more ideas. And then if you're like, oh, well, I didn't even know that there was a search, you know, volume in Mesa. Maybe I can, you know, this gives me an idea about building this, maybe a whole silos, you know, for Mesa, Arizona, which is a suburb here. Glendale, same thing, you know, that kind of deal. But you can see these are all of the, you know, terms that it pulls back. And some of these are just not very, like Orangutan. Well, Orangutan is a home service company here in Phoenix. And so they actually have search volume, like 2 people a day are looking for that company specifically. And the reason this pulled up is because it was looking for companies that were ranked for this main keyword, AC repair in Phoenix. Orangutan is most likely a company that is ranked for that keyword. And so a lot of these things are things that are just related to it that are not necessarily going to be, that are going to not come if you use only the keyword planner tool. And again, it's one of the reasons I like this, this particular service pretty darn well. Okay. All right, next question here from Matt. How would the PBN links look like for one of these big paper lead silo sites that have 30-odd keywords? Do you build a PBN link for each page, or is there a plan to build up the DA in order for the inner pages to rank easier? Yes. So what we can do with the DA, of course, you know, you install vCracken and Social Explosion, you're going to build your DA over time. Any of your PBN links are going to help build the DA. They're not going to show up in Moz because we block Moz, the aggregators, from seeing those links. But as far as what they actually do, very much so will help you build up your domain authority over time. One of the cool things with a silo site, one of the reasons it's so efficient is if I wanted to rank for Aurora Plumber, I spelled Aurora wrong. Anyway, if I wanted to rank for Aurora Plumber, I'm of course going to send a link or 2 here that have something related to this keyword, you know, whether that's a Aurora Plumber or, you know, Aurora, Colorado. plumbing or things similar to this. If I send those links here, these pages are also going to get some benefit. Not only because this page is getting more powerful, the page authority is going to be improved by sending links here, but because this page has more power now, these are links. These are links that Google counts. These are links on a more powerful page. So these are all going to benefit as well. So you don't necessarily have to send, galvanized repipe in Aurora. You may not have to send any links here at all to get this to rank. And it turns out that this site ranks incredibly well. I've got maybe 24 number one rankings. I don't have any links going to this, to my knowledge, right now. But I get somewhere between 10 and 20 people a day on this website. So just making sure I didn't miss anything on Matt's here. You plan to build a PBN link to each page? Yeah, so hopefully I made that clear. You probably will not need to build PBN links to every page. If you kind of build up the higher competition pages, you're going to send some links to those. Those other pages are all going to benefit from those links. So most likely we'll not need to build out all the inner stuff. All right, Shane, snow removal company, winter landscaping, correct season. Okay. What would you do to generate leads for this business market again without ranking PBN on my city site? That stuff is going to be killer for that 7-pack stuff that Cotton came out with. I think it just hit yesterday. Yeah, so right here, local citation cash crusher. With that market especially, but I'm in it, and there are a ton of keywords that'll trigger that 7-pack. You don't need any real PBNs to get started on that at all. Whoops, I missed somebody's message. Oh, it's just not related to office hours. So, what was I talking about? Got totally distracted now. Oh, yeah, the 7-pack. Grief, I got too many things open here. So that's actually why I had this White Spark thing opened up. Was looking at citations the other day after watching those videos. So I would definitely go check those out if you haven't yet, Shane. It would be a perfect way to start with a client like that. And who's doing the teaching on the 7-pack Cotton's video? Is that new teaching on of his? Yeah, just came out yesterday, Shane. Sorry, what's the 7-pack? So if we're just go to Google here real quick. And if we did a so these results here, I can't highlight this. Well, whatever. These first 7 results, A through G, that correspond to the maps. These are something called the Google My Business. They've changed their name a couple times. But more often than not, they'll show up at the top of the search results for keywords that will trigger the maps. So like auto repair Phoenix will trigger the map, but if you do something more specific, see with this, there are only 3 listings here. Okay, that means that there are not even more than 3 businesses that decided to target Volkswagen Repair Phoenix, which means it's going to be very easy to get another one pumped up into the 7-pack. So it's also pretty cheap. I won't say it's any quicker because it does take time to get those listings up, kind of the same way it does for a regular ranking. But it is it's just a different process. You do something called building citations for your listings, and that training really goes into that and talks about that. Like I said, for anybody here that hasn't watched that yet, it's not a distraction at all. It's just different it's different things that we can rank. And it definitely fits in with some stuff that I'm going to start doing more of. So super happy that that hit. And yeah, it's Cotton's, you know, it's stuff that Cotton's learned from us, but also most likely, a lot of that probably came from Jimmy as well. It's taught by Cotton, but I know that Jimmy knows a ridiculous amount about ranking that 7-pack. Okay, in regard to the paper lead module, when you have a client site and you use a tracking number, doesn't that cause conflicting name, address, phone info, especially if you have many different phone numbers for the same business? I'm trying to think what you're envisioning here with this. So so NAP, name, address, phone number, is going to be what the citations are based on. They all need to have the exact same information. And so I think the question you see here, this is the information. This is the citation information. It's your address, it's your phone number, it's the business name, Independent Auto Services. So I think the question was, if I were promoting this business, this Independent Automotive Services, and I had 15 different websites that were all ringing the phone for this company, would that mess up the name, address, phone number citations? Yes, but that's not the way. Those lead gen sites are not meant to build citations. If I wanted to set one of those lead gen sites up and find a legitimate address for it and get it in the 7-pack, then yes, the phone number I have for the business listing, the one that I create in the Google My Business, needs to be the same as any of the citations that I'm building. So it's not going to mess anything up to have a bunch of lead gen sites that ring through to that same phone number, because Google has no ability to know that is a call forwarding phone number or what phone number it does ring through to. So it's not really going to mess anything up, but you do want to be clear on the strategy and what you're doing each of those things for. So yeah, a lead gen website that I put up is not really used in any way that would need to have citations that are based on that phone number at all. So, all right, Matt, is there a certain search volume per project that determines whether you go forward or not? You know, there really wasn't when I started. It, you know, I knew that there was value in certain things regardless of, you know, what the keyword planner told me. And especially when I first got started, I was, you know, I just needed to find some success and do some things that would get me ranked and would get, you know, my phone ringing, would get my client's phone ringing, things like that. So I kind of just went after, you know, search terms that were things people were looking for in any volume. But I also had some stuff like AC repair, you know, that I went after that, you know, generate a lot of phone calls. Anymore, for a whole project, I probably want to see there being, you know, probably $100,000 worth a year of traffic that I could run to when I say a project, like a whole, you know, website or multiple websites for a client. Because in something like that, I'm going to be able to, you know, I certainly don't charge what the cost per click is. I come off of that quite a bit. You know, if they got $100,000 worth of traffic a year and I charge them 20 grand, that's going to be what, $1,800. So that's a pretty good client for me to look at. But you know, I've also got a lady who has an Etsy shop, and you know, she sends me $50 a month, and she's ranked for you know, some of the stuff that she sells there. So you know, I certainly take on some clients that don't pay me a ton of money and don't have a lot of search volume either. All right, Matt Fletch, really getting the law of implication, taking me some time to understand, but keep pursuing it. What was your biggest aha moment with LOI, and how'd that help you? Boy, there's so many. It kind of builds on it. You know, something that I, was trying to compare LOI to was, some reading and things that I've done recently. There's a guy named Eckhart Tolle who has written some books called like A New World, and Power of Now, I think, is another one that he wrote. And I was, continuing to say, oh, this is like that. And I think one of the bigger aha moments was understanding that we can't fully understand something by comparing it to other things. When we talk about describing a thing, we kind of have to draw a circle around the thing, and then what's left in the middle is the thing. You can't actually directly talk about it. And I think when I let go of trying to make LOI like something else I knew, and actually just really listened to what the content was kind of one of the bigger breakthroughs that let me start feeling like I was actually progressing more in it and start understanding the concepts much better. When I was kind of tied, and some of it for me, I know I have gone through a lot of education, professionally with certifications that I have in construction and energy modeling and things like that. And also just academically, I've read, a couple thousand books. And so, because of that, I'm always trying to compare it and see how it relates to other things that I know. And I think that, as much as anything, was something that was slowing me down, probably, with law of implication. So it's nice to have references. I can compare a lot of things together, but at the end of the day, things are what they are. And that was probably the biggest mover for me, to let go of trying to compare it to something else. All right, Stephanie, when we're setting up all the social sites like Facebook, Google+, etc., how do we set all these up for so many money sites without leaving a footprint? Facebook recognizes my IP when I set up a new page for a new site I've made. Yeah. So Facebook, Twitter, Google+, those are all going to have tracking for your IP address and things like that. You can actually go to Fiverr. There are gigs that will set up a whole host of these things. I actually have them bookmarked here. Let me see where they are. Like here's a guy that'll set your Facebook is in here, Twitter is in here, Google is in here. Dig. A lot of these icons I don't recognize, but I would assume, yeah, these are for OnlyWire. OnlyWire, a lot of those social profiles. So you can get this done for $5. Get it done for $5. You can get some content put on them. And if you're not, if you're not interacting with them a lot, you don't have to worry about that footprint a whole ton. You can always do hide my IP. That'll rotate your IP address. You'll probably have to verify or log in each time you go to those sites because of that. But Google+, so at the moment, this is the information that we have. Moving forward, there may be some more things that we have to worry about with footprint. But for the time being, you're fine kind of doing that type of thing there, Stephanie. All right, do we just set up tons of new Facebook accounts with fake names? Social Explosion do all this for us. Greg said he usually just does a regular new account, but Mike shows to add a fan page to your own account. How do you do all this? Okay, all good questions. Fake names, I don't have a ton of things set up with fake names. I think I probably follow more along like Mike's example. with setting up a fan page or like a sub page on my accounts. So like for me, I think, yeah. So this is, you know, my regular Facebook page here, but I've also got a page for EcoBuilt Group, which is kind of the construction company that I had that I've now turned into a marketing company for construction companies. Also kind of is what I sell leads through. I've got then Search Explosion is kind of my online marketing brand. So those are how you can set up business or fan pages below just the regular main account that you have. That's how I use Facebook most of the time, is to set up an actual business account for it and attach that then to the website that's the same name or whatever. I may go through and do a little training video. I'm actually going to make a note of that. We get a lot of questions about that every once in a while, that just how do you go about setting all that stuff up and connecting it and things like that. So just make a quick note. And then I know there were some other parts of that question. Let me see what else we had there. Okay, does Social Explosion do all this for us? Okay, so Social Explosion are actually, they are other accounts. So you do not own the accounts. It will just trigger a, new Pinterest pin or a new tweet on Twitter with a link back to your content. You can have your own accounts set up and give Social Explosion access to them, but that is a way to supplement what you've got going on. It lets you stretch your budget out further for, giving access essentially to the Social Explosion plugin. So, then Greg says he usually does regular, just new account. Yeah, and so yeah, that's how I do all that stuff. Hopefully that answers your questions. All right, OMG Juggernaut. So lead gen sites are separate model that don't use citations. That's correct. That's correct. I actually am going to incorporate citations with it moving forward, but it will be its own website and business. I will, get either a virtual address or a verified address for a business, essentially, that I will then turn into a, lead gen site, so that I could potentially get that up in the 7-pack. Well, and here's a perfect example of that. Okay, so we talked about, where'd I go here? Yeah, so we talked about EcoBuilt Group, right? This is a legitimate business. It's it's been registered in 2009. Filed with the state, all that kind of thing. It has an address, and it's not on here, I don't think. Is it? Yeah. So 5724 North 13th Place. That's where I live. It's mine, right? But it's also got a we just search for it. Should come up. I don't know. I haven't checked this for a long time. Yeah. So because I've got to Google my business listing, this pulls up. This is where it's located, your hours and all that kind of stuff. And then this, of course, is my website. So these are all connected. So the interesting thing, and this is kind of what I was talking about, this website is a lead gen website. It's got a phone number here. When you call it, it rings essentially my partner, my salesperson that does this kind of work still. So yeah, this is just a lead gen site, but it shows up in Google Maps. I just have not, before Cotton released that information, done anything to get it to show up for, like, here's some of the stuff I'm going to go after is like installation. Oops. PHOE. So installation Phoenix, right? It pulls a 7-pack. I'm going to get EcoBuilt Group in here. It's going to have a phone number. That phone number is the phone number I own that rings through to my, the customer I have that pays me, depending on the lead, anywhere from about $35 to over $100 per phone call. So yeah, you can set up a lead gen site up. It'll just take more work to get this done, but it would most likely increase the phone calls quite a bit. But that's something I'm testing. I'm going to be putting that together this next week, and I'll keep everybody kind of apprised to how that goes. Okay. And so, yeah, the citations are for client sites that you want to promote in the 7-pack, not for sites that you talk about the pay-per-lead model. Yeah, most of the time, well, most people I know set this, go after the 7-pack with real legitimate, businesses, brick and mortar type business. It makes more sense to have name, address, phone number if it's a brick and mortar business somebody can drive to and, go into. But it doesn't necessarily need to be that. When Cotton was talking about that, I was like, oh, this is cool. I can work with my clients and sell them even more. But I also started thinking of ways that I might be able to include those 7-pack listings in that pay-per-lead model that I kind of created. So like I said, I just watched these videos yesterday. I need to do some thinking on ways to include that in the pay-per-lead deal. So, all right. Matt, need to shoot Fletch. Thanks for all your help and patience, as always. Absolutely, Matt. Thanks for being on, bud. All right, Stephanie, thank you. Cool. All right, Shane, local telecom company is trying to sell that snow company 700% new biz plus 1,000 a month. Use me if I can get some making videos. Keyword optimized. Some of his company and pay-per-lead videos and citation stuff. Can I get results relatively fast without a PBN? How do I price it out? Your results may, well, with videos, they can be much quicker than trying to rank a regular website. You can absolutely get results without a PBN. I like PBNs just because you control the links. And as we kind of saw recently with, well, we've seen it the whole time we've been involved with SEO, depending on how long that is for you. When Google changes their algorithm, there are times when we need to be able to go back and change the anchor text because that anchor text is no longer looked at as what we know to be the best. So in a situation where you've got maybe, 8 or 10 links that have anchor text that works now for ranking, when Google makes another update, that may change slightly. Greg was talking a little bit about the, like threading, I think he calls it, right? Where he, is it? Yeah, I think it's threading. Let me pull it up just so I don't confuse terms on anybody that has seen those videos. Greg just released a new video with some initial stuff that came out. It's here. Yeah. Stringing, not threading. So this is kind of some stuff that Greg is looking at being pretty good for anchor text at the moment. So you guys can check that out. It's a pretty short video. I think it's only a few minutes long. Greg just talks about really kind of the way he hits keywords and uses them if he's building multiple grief, guys. Sorry about that. Can't ever find my page on. When he's going after local keywords and things like that. Seeing can I get results relative? So the whole speed thing, like I said, with video is going to be your probably fastest stuff to rank. Some of the other third-party platforms can rank pretty quick too, and you can do those without a PBN. You're going to need to use some kind of link building software though, whether you get a Fiverr gig, which I've heard kind of some bad things about recently. If you order 500 links, they wind up sending 4,000, and things get out of control pretty quickly. So links are still going to drive a lot of that thing. But the deal is, if you do some keyword research, Shane, you're gonna find that there are keywords that just don't have any competition that you can rank for. That, you know, not only some initial success that you can show the client. You know, if he's ranked #1 for something that he does and he loves being ranked #1 for it, you know, even if he only gets a couple phone calls a month out of the thing, it's something. It's some success. And so you'll probably be well advised to do some keyword research and start digging around and really come up with some good stuff for him to try to rank for. So that'll help you rank much more quickly as well. Local telecom. Oh, that was the one I just read. Oh, just got doubled up, it looks like. Could I charge $1,000 a month for making keyword optimized videos for his company name and pay per lead type videos along with citations? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Cotton talks about pricing in those videos, Shay, a little bit. He charges more than that, even just for the local 7-pack. So you could absolutely charge $1,000 a month for doing that as well as videos. Yeah, I took a video marketing customer on last year, and we did 8 videos that were, you know, set up for SEO, had good descriptions. That, you know, I built a channel for them, got some artwork put on it, use that same artwork as a lead in and an outro on the video. You know, they're just good videos, but I made them myself. It wasn't, you know, there wasn't a ton of production value, but they looked good. And we charged $5,500 for those 8 videos. And, you know, I made really good profit on it. It wound up being about, I don't know, 3 days work, give or take. So yeah, videos can be a very important piece of any company's marketing. And especially if they get SEO traffic, yeah, company's going to be very happy with that. So yeah, Priscilla was helping me out with the stringing there. Yeah, good. All right, OMG Juggernaut, thanks so much for the help. If you put a tracking phone number on a client site to prove that the site is generating calls, will that mess up their ranking in the 7-pack? No, it won't. The reason is that just because a phone exists on their website doesn't mean Google is automatically going to say, well, that throws everything off. What needs to match up is, oops, I think I closed that. Yeah. So like this is here, right? But this doesn't count as a citation. Okay. There's actually, I don't think I have my address on here. Yeah, see, it's just all just junk stuff down at the bottom still. If we go back to the search for EcoBuild group, right? This is going to be what needs to match all the citations that you build. Okay. Actually, you can see here, look, this is a 482. This is actually my cell phone number. I finally figured out why I still get phone calls on this thing. So this is actually my phone number. And you can see here the site. Well, I closed the site, but if we go back, there's a 602 area code. So this doesn't count as a citation. So in this situation, oh, it was here. So in this situation, if I were going to start build citations, I would need to build them with this phone number, okay? Which I don't want to do because I don't want my phone number out there. So what I need to do is change this phone number, probably to match that tracking phone number that I had on my site. Yeah. There we go. Change it to this 602 number. And then once that's changed, then I can build citations with the 602 number because it'll be what is in the what is in this listing. So the information here is what you need to build your citations with. Your EcoBuild group, your address, and your phone number. So whatever is there is to pay attention to. You can have a bunch of other information on your website that's not going to hurt it at all. Okay. Okay, that was that question. What kind of results did the company receive for that $5,500? You know, I'm not 100% sure since it was something I turned over to them. We didn't do any SEO, you know, ongoing in that situation. So, you know, a lot of those videos are still ranked. I don't want to pull them up because they're client videos, but they, you know, they've been ranked for good money terms for, you know, 8-9 months still, just with the initial, you know, SEO that we did for them. And it, well, let me think. Yeah, they were all for one single product that costs about $13,000. It's a home improvement product. So, you know, with the margin they get, 13 grand, they make about a little over $2,000 per unit installed. So they would have needed to get 2 jobs to make that little marketing campaign something that was worth it to them. And I know they got that. You know, I'm in that market too, and I've got a video ranked in the first page, and we generate a call or 2 a week from it. So I would imagine they've made a great deal of money off of that campaign, but I'm not sure. Pete, on the videos you talked about, what was in the videos, or do you have a link so we could look at them? Yeah, as I just mentioned there, Shane, they're clients' videos, so no, I can't share that with you guys. But yeah, they're essentially one of the videos I kind of like doing. If you guys, like I said, I'm not really hiding anything from where is it? From anybody. You know, my YouTube channel is something I've got a couple of them, but my one of my fun videos I make nowadays is like these, you know. You know, they're clean, they do fun stuff, you know. This is an affiliate that I'm kind of putting together. Best rapid prototyping. But like this video took me like 20 minutes to make, give or take. So if I would have spent a little more time, I could have done a lot more with that. But you don't have to spend a ton of time on a video to get somebody interested enough to either, you know, click on the link or pick up the phone and call or whatever it might be. All right, when a client has their own site and supplements it with your lead gen, what if the client claims that the leads you are charging them actually called off their site? The phone number, Priscilla. So, you know, most of my clients do have a website that has a certain phone number on it, but any of my paper lead sites I put together are phone numbers I own, so I have the call records on those. All right, Coon Dog, wow, boom. Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, OMG Juggernaut. Where did the phone number for EcoBuilt Group that you just showed in the search results originate from? Google Plus? It originates from that Google My Business. So if you're talking like this one, if I is there a way to click on this? Yeah, so this is the Google My Business listings here. So when you go through and you set your deal up, and you get on Google, you put that phone number in. You create your profile there. That's how that works. All right, Priscilla, or rather lead called the client off their site and also called the phone number in the lead gen site. Or rather, the lead called the client off their site and also called the phone number on the lead gen site. Well, I mean, I guess that would potentially happen, but it's not really something that I run into any times. You know, if a client called my phone number, we charge the customer for that. You know, um, you know, if it turned into some weird, contentious, heated, you know, argument or whatever, I could back charge, you know, for a call or whatever. But you know, it's something that you're kind of getting pretty specific on some things, and it's not something to get hung up on. You know, for the most part, this works. It works really well. Sometimes there are some things that you just have to deal with when you encounter them. You know, this isn't like this every rule and everything that you can or should do with a lead gen site. But for the most part, it works pretty smooth. So, all right, Pete. Okay, so it's not like some big Hollywood production. That's what I really wanted to know. Yeah, no. You know, a few, like the fanciest videos I've done were oh, I keep clicking on that instead of just going to this. Like this one is the most production value of anything that I've done. And it was, you know, I outlined it. I didn't really script it. I just kind of sat there and went through. I did some A-roll, B-roll stuff, which you have your sound running in the background. I don't have the sound turned up, but you can kind of tell I do some different camera, you know, zoom in and out just to give it some excitement, and some, you know, feeling of movement and some things like that. So this was all shot with my iPhone on a tripod, and I have a little lavalier mic that you can kind of see there in the camera. So you can make really good videos with, you know, this thing's been viewed 1,000 times, you know, in the last 6 months or so. This took about 4 hours to make, I think. This is the first time I've ever done anything this kind of put together or polished. So yeah, you don't have to be you know, full-on video production house to make good videos that get the phone to ring. All right, Shane Fletch, I have a generic video scribe account or video about generating leads for different trade companies. Would it be worth optimizing it for as a lead gen service? Yeah, I've got a, I wonder here. Oh, this is on my, let me look at all them videos. I've got this old, I think it's still on this channel. It might not be. Yeah, I've got an old video scribe video here for solar stuff. It's been viewed 170 times or so. Yeah, they work. I like Video Scribe. That's what this is. I didn't even get rid of the watermark on it. So yeah, Video Scribe's cool. One of the things that we kind of talk about, like in conversion, especially with video conversion, that they're just different modalities. You know, there are different things that people like. Some people like the cartoon. Some people like the drawing hand. Other people like, you know, live action, you know, the person in front of the camera. So a few different styles is always something I like to incorporate when I can, just because it really does a lot of different types of, it hits people differently. You know, some people like to read, some people like to watch, all that kind of thing. So Shane, man, thanks. Really appreciate your help today. Thank you. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Do you have a number of different accounts with YouTube in different names? I do. I have 3, Priscilla. The one that I have that I just showed is kind of it's framed up around what I do here with OMG for the most part. Like most of those videos, as you probably know, were these coaching videos. So they're all private. They're like if somebody were just looking at my channel, there's only, I don't know, 20, 30 videos on there, maybe, give or take. So I think I closed it. Yeah, no matter. I don't need two of these open. This one go to YouTube. So I have, in addition to that, a YouTube channel for one of my other businesses that is, it's not set up as a specific person. It's set up as a business name. And then I have another one for a family member that I do marketing for, and it's just set up under their name. So it's going to click it through, see what I had there. Yeah, you know, one of the other things that, you know, unfortunately, you know, I haven't had any problems with stuff that I share in my office hours, but it's really, you know, we want to really show you guys what works and, you know, the real stuff, you know, exactly what we're doing to make money with this and how we put it together and everything else. But what does stink is that inevitably, most of the time, somehow or another, those, you know, our stuff gets out there, and either competitors or just people that are, you know, malicious in some form or another, you know, wind up taking the stuff down. You know, you get negative SEO done, or you know, complaints on videos or whatever it might be, and it just, you know, kind of stinks to you know, have something like that. So you know, for the most part, I'm pretty transparent with what I'm doing here, for sure. But I do have several other channels that I just don't, you know, I can't share, that have other content on them. But one of the things I always try to do is the stuff that I do share with you guys, I try to have an example of pretty much everything I do. So if that makes sense. All right, Stephanie, appreciate you so much, Fletch. Oh, cool. Thanks for all you do. Also, how do we learn how to get rid of the watermarks on videos? If you're talking on those Video Scribe ones, I think there's a setting. I haven't used Video Scribe for a while, because I started using this other video creation software that I showed you with those cartoons. What's it called? Video Maker FX is what it was called. So it doesn't have any watermarks. One of the things you can do, depending on the editing software that you use, you could trim the video's boundary to get rid of that, or even just put your logo over the top of it would be another thing you could do. That would be pretty easy to edit in after the fact in post-production. All right, Shane, how do you set up so many different accounts on YouTube without it being a problem for YouTube or Google? They're different. You know, one of them is travel and tourism based. You know, I can log into them. I've got, you know, when I log out of, well, let me see here. No, I can't do that. If I log out of YouTube, or if I log out of my Google Plus account in this browser, when I go to log back in, it gives me options for like 7 or 8 different people that have all logged in on my, you know, IP address here. And I haven't had any problems with that. You know, I don't, you know, I probably wouldn't try to do 70, you know, but, you know, a handful, half dozen, I haven't had any problems with that at all. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things, like, be careful, you know, think it through, but, you know, until you get, or unless you get, you know, really, you know, a whole bunch of things going on at the same time, wouldn't worry about it too much. And if you did, there are ways to hide anyway. So, you know, there's things like, yeah, you can do stuff like this, hide my IP. So, essentially anonymous. Yeah, so this is what, you know, everybody's going to know I'm here. You know, this is this, you know, as my internet service provider. if you use something like this, it keeps that from happening. So it's like $30. You could use it. It works on a Mac or PC both. All right, cool. Also appreciate your help today. Thank you so much. All right, Shane, you have to buy a membership to not have the watermark. On Video Scribe. Yeah, I seem to remember that. I think I paid for it, but I may have made that video before I paid for it. It was still a free trial or something like that. I may need to go back and remake it. Stephanie, got it. Thanks. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So we're about 80 minutes in, give or take. Typically run about 90 minutes. So if you've got some more questions, go ahead and get those in the chat box here, the question box. And just as a reminder, you know, we always record these. Tend to send them over to David, you know, as soon as they get kind of compressed and processed. And he typically gets those up pretty quickly, depending on how much work he's doing or kind of what stage he's in on, you know, law of implication or kind of strategy for OMG. So. Yeah, so comment question here from Shane. I heard one YouTube account can have 3 channels on it. Do you have multiple channels and different usernames? Yes. So kind of show you what that looks like. Oh, here, I have YouTube already over. So as you can see here, Joshua Fletcher, again, EcoBelt, Escape Velocity, which is now, I think I'm rebranding that to Search Explosion. And then I'm not sure why it's triggering this. I may have a different email address that is asking if I want to, you know, add a channel there. So these are channels. You can have several underneath your main person account. So I could have my EcoBuilt channel, and I could also have a Search Explosion channel or, you know, construction lead generation channel or something like that if I wanted to. And it doesn't have a problem with that. They actually like that type of situation to happen because, you know, you're saying, yep, this is me, but I do these other things too, and these are all good value. I'm fine with people knowing it. You know, Google's continue like more and more transparency as well. So yeah, you can do that. And then in addition to that, like I said, I have access to, you know, family members' account. They have 2 businesses that they run, so they have 2 channels underneath that. And then I have a third one that is just the name on it is a business, and then just the regular business account. So, and it's related to lead gen that I do. So, all right, Pete, thanks. Great info as always. Cool. Stephanie, awesome stuff. Let's have a great day. Yep. All right. Shane, by the way, Fletch, what did you end up dressing up as on Halloween? Kind of turned into kind of the minister of money getting, but I did put a cape on. So it was more like a superhero version of my green money hat and $100 bill boa. Yeah, for the most part, the neighborhood that I live in here is just crazy on Halloween. Like we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids coming through. So, you know, we walked around with our 9-year-old for a little bit, got some candy pretty early. And then the rest of the time we were just in the driveway handing out candy. So I guess that was okay to, you know, I didn't have to carry around a bunch of crazy costume all over the neighborhood or anything. All right, guys. We'll probably wrap up here in a few minutes. Yeah, I'll see if I can dig one up. It's weird. Well, it's not weird. It's just the way it is. But, I haven't been a dad for, 2 years now, I guess is all. I very quickly realized there are very few pictures of me that I take. I wind up taking pictures of kids all the time, but I'll see if I can dig something up for what I actually look like on Halloween. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up then. Thank you all for being on. Absolutely my pleasure to get to work with you and help you out kind of in your journey online. We will be, of course, scheduling our office hours for next week, kind of toward the end of this week. So that'll get posted over the weekend. You can keep track of that. It's kind of tending to work out that that my normal day is Tuesdays. So, I know yesterday they had some webinars that Cotton was on and things like that. So I think Greg's office hours got moved to tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, for this week. So until then, look forward to working with you guys in the Facebook group. And yeah, let me know if there's anything I can do to help you all. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you soon.